Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where we focus on healing, humor, and hot topics. First off, before I even get started on my show review, because I know you're here for the hot topics, let's sound it off. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the subscribe button. After you hit the subscribe button, I need all of my subscribers to go to the bell on the top, I think it's right hand corner of the page, and click that so your notifications can be on. Because I had a lot of people telling me the other day, I didn't know you were live. I didn't know you were recording. I didn't know you were on today. Yes, because you're not receiving my notifications. So hit the notification button so you can get all my notifications when I go live and when I drop content. Also, please hit the thumbs up on the video. I always let people know that is your free way of supporting my channel and helping me get out in the algorithm. Last but not least, drop down in the comment section and let me know what you think about what I'm about to share with you guys, which is my show review for the Bonds Bunch. You guys better be watching. That comes on WeTV every Friday at 10 p.m. And you can also catch it on the All Black Network streaming. And we are up to episode number 5. I've been getting a lot of feedback about this show. And not many of you are Matt Barnes fans. I like Matt, but okay, let's discuss. That's what we're here for. In any event, let's get to talking. So it starts off with Matt and Ananza, and they're in one of their therapy sessions, right? Because you know they go to couples therapy, right? And they're discussing with the therapist their trip to Sacramento and how it went and so on and so forth. And Matt also starts bringing it up because remember last episode for their Sacramento trip, they also went to visit Matt's family, his dad, his sister, his dad's wife. So they brought up some of his family dynamics, right? And you know how he was raised and so on and so forth. One of the things that I noticed that Matt and Ananza do when they go to therapy is they're always at a distance. So I don't know if therapy was prior to them recording all of the other content for the show, and maybe they weren't in a good space at the time, because I noticed whenever they go to therapy, they sit next to each other but apart. They're not touching each other. They're pretty much like in their own corners. They give me like they're like a divorced couple that's trying to learn how to co-parent, right? They're not giving me the couple that you normally see when they're at home, when they're out with their friends, how lovey-dovey they are. And I wonder why they do that. Is it because maybe the therapy sessions upset them? Maybe they're uncomfortable about what they're talking. Maybe the therapist asks that they sit separate. I don't know, but it seems really weird. In any event, the therapist is basically talking to Matt about his family, his relationship with his dad, and then he asks about his relationship with his sister. And Matt starts to share how the sister basically became like the mommy figure when her mom passed away, so she can be very overprotective and overbearing. But that's how they are with one another as a family unit. And then he asks Ananza what was her relationship with the sister, and she begins to rehash all that took place between when her and Matt broke up and when the sister kind of spazzed on her and so on and so forth, right? And then the scene switched and they showed the kids in the house having horseplay, nothing real bad. They just was showing that they had left the twins, Isaiah and Carter, Matt's oldest boys that he shares with Gloria. They left them in charge for the day. So they was letting the kids play. It was cool. It was nothing going on there, right? What I did like about the kids playing is that everybody didn't have an iPad and a phone and a game control in their hand. No, the kids were interacting with one another, and it made me feel good because that's how we was raised. You know, I have a lot of conversations with people where they talk about how, you know, kids don't have social skills because every fucking minute they're like this or like this or like this. So they're not forced to either engage with other children or with each other as family members. So I like that when the boys were left in charge, they're like, no, we're gonna play a game with each other, and all of the kids was there playing with each other. I thought that was cool, right? Then when the scene shifted again, it showed Matt and Ananza going to look. They're going to view the venue that they're going to use, which was a big, beautiful home for the engagement party. So when they get to the venue, it's Gino and Ray. Where's Stefan? But anywho, this was a different Ray. This Ray was actually the realtor, who was selling the house that they were using for the event space for the engagement party. So it wasn't the normal Ray that we see. It was Gino, but another Ray. This Ray was showing them the space, right? And I mean, the space was beautiful, beautiful, big, beautiful home. Pool, everything in it, right? But then they started to talk about, the guy started to share that the house was on the market, so let's hope it doesn't sell before they decide to do the event, so on and so forth. And they talked about how expensive the house is, right? And with them talking about the expenses, it brought up the conversation of their own own funds, and then it's also veered into the conversation about Matt's lawsuit, which this seems to be a heavy topic, right? And of course it would be. He's at risk of having to pay $6 million to the people that's suing him, so that conversation is heavy. So what I did like about the conversation is as they talking about how it could affect the engagement party, the wedding, the IVF, so on and so forth. Ananza, who I love Ananza. That's my girl. She did something that I would do. When she heard all of that negative spring in New York City. Anywho, when she heard all that negative conversation, she grabbed Gino's hand, she grabbed Matt's hand, she was like, I think we should pray. And my girl got down, they all bowed their heads, and they were saying a prayer. Basically, you know that she said, God don't bless no mess. So if Matt didn't really do anything, then Matt shouldn't be in any real danger of anything happening. If he did, let the chips fall where they may, right? I did have somebody drop down in my comments to let me know that Matt does have quite a few lawsuits. So the next time I come up here to share with you episode 6, I'm going to have the information on those lawsuits because I had no idea. And from what I hear from the person that dropped down in the comments, forgive me if I don't remember your name, she was saying that 1 or 2 of them can involve Ananza. So you know my nosy behind gonna go check that out. And if y'all check that out before me, drop down in the comments. What I told y'all, I love to discuss. I don't debate or delete. Anywho, the scene shifts and it shows Ananza there. She's back home and she's in her bedroom laying down, and Ashton comes up there to lay with her. Ashton is Matt and Ananza's youngest child together, right? That's the only child that they have together, right? And Ananza did something in this scene. She actually did 2 things that kind of had me side-eyeing her, but let me say this. I could be side-eyeing from a non-mom perspective. So moms, I want you guys to drop down in the chat and let me know either A, would you have been side-eyeing her too about these 2 things, or B, this is what moms do. So one of the things that she did was she was asking Ashton, who did he love more, mommy or daddy? And I was like, I mean, why does he have to choose? Isn't he fucking 4? First of all, and second of all, why is this even up for discussion? I love both of y'all. And that's what Ashton said. Ashton was like, okay, since I'm in front of you, I'm going to say you. But I mean, I love both my parents. He said y'all both take care of me. So I thought that was really cute that he was mature enough to still include his dad. And it's also a testament to how well the both of them parents. I was looking at Ananza like, why even ask that? But okay, whatever. And then another thing that she did that I kind of had me side-eyeing her as well is she was introducing, you know, him being a big brother to him. Basically the idea of it. And I feel like to my knowledge, they haven't even started the IVF journey. If they have, they didn't share it on the show yet. And B, you know, sometimes the IVF journey can take a long time to be successful if it is successful at all. So, you know, getting a 4-year-old's hopes up about being a big brother can be a very, very sticky situation, right? So, and it also could affect you because he might start to put the pressure on you guys about having a little brother, little sister. And if things are not going successfully with you guys regarding the IVF journey, that may make you feel away, right? It may fuck with your hormones on top of all the other things you might be taking that's going to fuck with your hormones. So in my mind, I just was side-eyeing Ananza about those 2 things. But again, you guys can let me know. Am I side-eyeing from a non-mom perspective? And as a mom, it's totally cool to have those type of conversations and bring up that type of banter. You guys can let me know in the comment section, right? So then once again the scene shifts and Matt and Ananza is in the kitchen. They might be in the kitchen or the living room. I forget which one. And Matt is on the phone with somebody. So it sounds like he's on the phone with a friend, and he's basically telling a friend, like, you know, Christmas is approaching, and we plan on having some family members here. We're very excited. So as he's telling them, he like, yeah, you know, BJ and her husband is going. BJ, as you guys know, Beverly Johnson and Ananza's mom. Her fiance is coming. Matt's dad, Henry, and his wife, Nancy, they'll be coming. And then Matt said, hey, you know, my sister and her kids. So Ananza was like... So when she made that face, Matt was like, my girl's looking at me crazy, so I'm going to have to call you back and see what this is about. So he hung up with the person and was like, babe, what's up? So she was like, I didn't have any idea that your sisters and them was coming. You know, we're supposed to be doing a family shoot. We have all these matching outfits to it. Like, how is that gonna look if your sister shows up here with her kids? They're not in alignment with what we're doing. Her sons start distracting our sons. We can't get the photo shoot done. Matt, what the fuck is up with that? Basically, right? And Matt said something about, oh, you know, she was gonna go. I think he said Chicago, but then she changed her mind at the last minute and said to come here. And I was looking at the TV like, Matt, you's a motherfucking liar. I recall in the last episode, you telling the sister that you wanted her and Ananza to be able to be better and be back on the same page and be sisterly again. And the first way to get that started is for her to come for Christmas. Now, you guys, if you watching along with me, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm bugging out. I highly think that I'm not, because I remember him saying it. So it wasn't no, oh, she was going somewhere the last minute. And if she was, y'all didn't show that on the show. It showed you telling her she needed to come for Christmas. As a matter of fact, you didn't ask her. You told her she needed to come for Christmas so we could fix this whole family situation. And the first start to doing that was her coming for Christmas. So, Matt, your ass ain't just find this out. You been new. But I think that you didn't want to tell Ananza because you knew Ananza wouldn't be on board with it, because she said that. Once you said that, oh, well, you know, she said she didn't want to go wherever. She said she was going to, so I told her to come here. She was like, well, I didn't agree with that. He was like, you didn't need to, because I made an executive decision. Matt, what the fuck? Now, I'm going to tell y'all two things I think about this situation. Number one, I know for me, right? For me personally, I am always in favor of people dating who matches them and what they can be in alignment with. Right? One of the reasons why I felt like Matt and Gloria couldn't match, because I felt like they were both trying to be the head of the relationship. From what I see in relationships, one person can take the lead and the other person can play the back. This has always been my mindset about relationships, romantic ones. I have no issue with the man taking the lead. My issue is as long as it doesn't compromise me as a woman, my morals, my values, and my perspective is taken into consideration and my input is valued, then I have no issue with you taking the lead, right? I think for Ananza and Matt, Ananza doesn't mind Matt taking the lead. I think that she feels like, but I would like to be considered in the process, right? Which is any woman in a romantic relationship, right? Except for the ones that want to take the lead. So I could see her looking at him crazy when he made the executive decision, because in those moments, I'm not mad that you made this executive decision. I'm mad that you didn't consider my feelings along with that. Now, let me tell you about Matt. And I know what y'all going to say. Because I noticed that when people drop down in the comments, it's most of the people who don't really care for Matt, because I think their commentary is coming from thinking like I'm kind of like taking up for him, right? But I do personally like who I see on the screen. I like Matt. I think he's cool. I like some of his ways, right? What I feel is that he feels like what Ananza and Danny is going through, Danny being his sister, is petty, right? I don't think that he feels that is anything that serious. So for him, I think him making the executive decision wasn't him making it saying how Ananza feel. I think he was making it because he feels like, if I get you guys together, I know that you guys can make it work. I just have to be the person to get y'all together because y'all two can't seem to do it. Right? So Ananza did exactly what I would have done, which is what I do to my man very often. Oh, so you made an executive decision? That means it's on you, bro. So when anything happens, don't come talk about, boo, help me, yo, boo. You didn't want my help before you made the executive decision. Now you got to stand on that, baby, okay? Okay. So I love that Ananza was like, oh, you did? Not a problem. It's on you, right? So in any event, right, they flash to the next scene, and of course, Matt is working, which I love about him. He gets to his bag. So he's on the set of his All the Smoke podcast, and hey, Stefan, there he is. Anywho, he was on the set of the podcast, and their guest was Snoop Dogg. I was like, hey, Uncle Snoop. So he was there. Uncle Snoop basically was, doing his little storytelling and friendly banter. It was a nice interview. And then they flashed to Matt in his confessional, and Matt was basically sharing, how much he admires Snoop and how much he looks up to him. And, he just sees that, one day he would like to be able to marry his career and his family without him having to compromise or put one over the other. So that was cool. That was nice, right? Then they move on, and in the next scene, Matt and Danny are picking up some last minute Christmas wrapping and all of that, because of course she's coming town, because now it's time for Christmas and them to take their photo shoot and spend the holidays together. So they're having some conversation about Ananza and Danny's relationship, and basically Matt is saying the same thing he's always said from the beginning. Y'all just need to get back to normal, because if she and I are together, we are love and we plan on being together forever. You're my sister, we're blood related, we're close, I love you, and you're never gonna stop being my sister. So I love you, I love her, I need y'all to love each other. And Danny's whole stance is like, no, I'm fine going back to loving her. She needs to start back loving me though. Danny triggered me. Right? In that moment, right? Because this is what I don't think people understand. When you come from a particular background, right? So let's just say you come from a background of physical violence, verbal abuse. If that's your background, and that's the way you came up, it's very easy for you to display those behaviors towards other people, right? So for example, if you came from a background where you're used to being verbally abused, then when you have an interaction with somebody that's not positive, the first thing you're going to do is curse them the fuck out, because that's what you come from. Same thing with physical violence. If you come from a background where somebody played in your motherfucking face, you just dived on them, in any event that you have an issue with somebody, your first thoughts is going to be to dive on them, because that's what you come from. What I think people don't factor in is that they are not the only people living on this planet. So although you may have come from a certain background, you may think certain things is okay, not everybody feels that way. And that's the way I personally feel like Ananza feels in this situation, and I can relate to Ananza. It resonated with me on every level. The situation was, when Matt and Ananza went through their little breakup, Danny inserted herself in their business and disrespected Ananza. And for Ananza, the disrespect really hurt her, because she's not used to that. She doesn't come from that. You could see with Matt and Danny, their whole thing was like, oh yeah, she cursed you the fuck out, but she's sorry now, so let's be back friends. No. That's the way your family was raised. Every minute cursing each other the fuck out and fighting like fucking banshees in the street. Ananza didn't come from that. She's an only child. She comes from an upper echelon home. So for her, it wasn't about, oh, well, one thing happened, I just sound off on you like I'm a raging lunatic. No. So for her feelings were genuinely hurt when Danny did that to her. And she's still trying to recover from it. But for Matt and Danny, it's like, okay, but it happened, let's move on. I apologize, let go of it. Not everybody can do that. And I want people to realize that, because sometimes when you start thinking that people were raised the way you were raised, or think the way you think, and you start pulling stunts and antics on them and you lose them, then you sit around and play the victim about that loss. You're not the victim. Just own that I displayed a behavior that somebody was not in favor of, and because of that, there were consequences to my actions. Whatever they are, you have to deal with, right? So it was getting on my nerves when Danny kept trying to say, well, she needs to come around and she needs to treat me more sisterly and she needs to be better. You disrespected her. So you need to be patient until she's ready to do so. That's the long and the short of it. And Matt, you need to support her on that journey, because it's okay for you and your sister to curse each other the fuck out like two dogs in the street, but it's not okay for Ananza. And if she's going to be your woman, you need to be very much aware of that. So anywho, Matt was like, listen, let that shit go. When we get back to the house, I'm going to get y'all together and make it happen, I guess. Now they shift back to the house, and I see my girl BJ. Hey, Beverly Johnson, girl. BJ don't look like she got Danny and them people to think about, because the whole time there, BJ ain't have this. She ain't say two fucking words to the people. She talking to her grandkids, her daughter getting her life. Right, but I love BJ. I love her. She's still a stunning older woman. I like Beverly Johnson. We got to see her fiance, Brian. He was there. Henry was there, Matt's dad. Henry's wife was there, Nancy. And, BJ and Henry were also a part of the Christmas photos with the kids, and Ananza and Matt, right? Danny was there and her kids were there, but they were not a part of the photo. Nancy, Henry's wife, wasn't a part of the photo, and Brian, BJ's fiance, wasn't a part of the photo. And I mean, again, I think Ananza just planned this for their immediate family. It is what it is. So they trying to get the kids together, and long story short, they had some hiccups, but they were able to do it, right? The photo came out very, very nice. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm using for my thumbnail for this video. Next thing you know, they flash to Ananza, Matt, and Danny downstairs wrapping the gifts for the kids. You know, and this scene was touching. This scene was touching because it started off with Matt and Danny basically discussing their childhood, how they came up. And what they said was, listen, we wasn't rich, but my parents were always able to make things happen. And for that alone, we can appreciate them. Another two things that I noticed though, right? One thing is I didn't get a chance to see the interaction between Danny and the dad, which I would have liked to see, versus the interaction between Matt and the dad. And also, where's the other sibling? Because they needed a brother or something, so where was him and his family, and where were they, right? So that's something I hope they discuss further in the future. But anywho, they were discussing how they came up, and pretty much they had good times. They was not rich, but they had good times. One of the worst times of their lives was losing the mom, because she was pretty much, as any mother would be, the glue that holds the family together. So I was like, wow, when they brought up that conversation. And in those moments, instead of Danny and Matt getting emotional, Ananza got emotional. And she was basically saying, like, hearing some of the stuff that you guys went through when you were younger and losing your mom, you know, that hurts me for y'all. You know, I can't imagine. I speak to my mother 3, 4, 5 times out the day, and I know I lost my dad, but, you know, I just couldn't imagine losing my mom, right? And then she turned to Danny, and she was basically saying, you know, I view you as one of the strongest women, you know, because, you know, the way you hold it down for your family and the way you stepped in to fill the shoes of your mom, I admire you for that. So at that point, Matt saw that they was kind of making a connection, so he wanted to leave them alone to do so. So he was like, hey guys, I gotta roll, I gotta go pick up a big gift. He was poppycock. He just wanted to give them a few minutes alone to have that moment. And you know, once Ananza said that, I could see his guard going down, Danny. So once her guard came down, because she could see that Ananza was opening up, she just basically was saying, like, you know, I know that I have not been the best to you, but that's because I'm overprotective and overbearing alone. And she was like, what Matt went through with Gloria made me even more overprotective and overbearing. She was like, I didn't get a chance to see my nephews, which is Matt twins that he has with Gloria, for the first 6 years of their life because of what them two was going through. And she was like, sometimes I just feel like, you know, my brother will, you know, allow folks in that don't really value him, other than what he brings to the table. And she was like, you know, I don't want that for him. So I am overprotective and overbearing. And she was like, because of that, I didn't really give you a chance. You know, so I want to apologize. And Ananza was like, and I accept your apology, and I want to apologize too. You know, I don't want us to be at a rift. You know, you could see in those moments they was having an emotional connection. So I like that. The emotional connection was so strong that Ananza asked Danny to be one of her bridesmaids. So I was like, oh my God, right? And I want to say something about this, because this also resonated with me, because it's very relatable. You know, my brother has his woman, and they've been together, I want to say 20 years now, and I have 2 nieces, which they have together, you know, and me and my brother's baby mother, we started off rocky. We actually had a physical altercation, right? So sometimes it can go there when other people, you know, become a part of the family arrangement that either A, you didn't sign off on, or B, you don't agree with. But what I can say is, where there's life, there's hope, and you can also come back from that. Me and my sister-in-law was on the phone the other day cackling for hours. You know what I'm saying? On a voice note, talking, running things by each other. She asking my advice on things. I'm running things by on her. We are far gone from the days where we arguing and having physical altercations. You know, so we were able to make it through. So when I saw Ananza and Danny making that, you know, emotional connection and kind of moving past the drama, I was like, yes, because at the end of the day, they're going to be family. they're going to be family. And it is hard when you don't get along with your in-laws or you don't have a relationship with them, because at the end of the day, no matter how much you love your person, that is still their family. Right? So I thought that was so, so nice. So, so nice. Shout out my sister-in-law, Nick Nack. Love you, girl. Anywho, they flash to the Christmas morning and all the kids is there. Daddy kids, Matt and Ananza kids, everybody there opening up their gifts. I was cracking up because the kids was like, the gifts is nice. We give them an 8 out of 10. You know, I mean, and you could tell. You could really tell because the kids was looking like, I mean, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Not like it was the best gifts in the world. So I was cracking up that they got the 8 out of 10, right? So anyway, they started playing with their toys. The lady started cooking the breakfast. The lady Ananza and Danny started cooking breakfast, and you know, it started to really feel like Christmas. So I was like, oh, that's nice, right? And I didn't see the elders. They didn't show Matt's dad, his wife, all those people. You didn't see them again. Then the next thing you know, they flashed to Ananza, and Matt is upstairs in the bedroom. And I'm telling you, the sexual tension between Ananza and Matt, I like it. Like, I like when they be lovey-dovey and look like they about to screw and all that. I get a little aroused by that, right? So anyway, Matt was actually about to catch a flight to New York because his trial is starting regarding the lawsuit. So he was trying to get a little nookie before he leaves. So he did rubbing on Ananza. And she like, how much time you got, baby? He like, I got 20 minutes. She's like, 20 minutes? That ain't enough. He was like, it's enough for a quickie. You know, so they about to get it on. Them kids busting that damn room and was like, what are y'all doing? Get off of him. Let's get this started. So then the kids came in and he like, damn. You know, so then they start talking and all that to the kids, so on and so forth. And that Matt had to start packing because he had to catch a flight, right? They flashed to a couple of days later, and I think they said it was 4 days later, and he's there in New York. And he's basically telling Ananza, like, you know, I'm here waiting for deliberations to see what's going to happen with the trial. He was like, I mean, it felt like it was going in my favor, but I don't really know. So we're going to see. And that pretty much was the end of the episode. That pretty much was the end of the episode. I was like, oh, wow. And it went off from there. I enjoy episode 5. In particular, I enjoy Danny and Ananza getting over their drama. And when I look at Ananza's Instagram page, you can see pictures after all of this where they still look like they're on the same page getting along. So I thought the episode was really, really good. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. And how do you guys think the lawsuit is going to go with Matt? You think he's going to be able to settle out, or you think he's going to have to pay the $6 million? We'll see. In any event, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I truly appreciate you, and stay tuned. Mwah.